Hello DIYers, 2006 BMW X3, and we had a coolant leak on the passenger side, just over there where the bucket is, and the leak was the bad O-ring on a temperature sensor. So if you can see, and I hope you can, where you can see the lower radiator hose, there's like a big hole right now, so that's where the temperature sensor is. I already have it removed, so it seems like quite easy job to do. In just 1 second I will grab the first of all, you have connector on a sensor, so you press this wire in and pull it up, so this will remove the wiring from the sensor. And then you have this sensor inside, so to get the sensor out you press those two release knobs. So you press it and you pull it up. Obviously it will be a little bit stiff, so you will need to do a bit of wiggling to get it out. The part itself is just a couple of dollars, and here's the part number. If you are going with the Euro parts, it's 1362 1433077S, and as you can see it's a simple O-ring. Before you get to that sensor, you get it out, you need to drain the coolant. To drain the coolant on the driver's side of the radiator, there is this valve, and I will show you with the light. So this plastic, it's 19 millimeters plastic plug. You don't need to get it all the way out, just enough so the coolant drains. So now when we take a closer look, you can see that this O-ring is quite flush with the surface of the temperature sensor, so we'll get this replaced. So the new one is on, and you can see how it is sticking out now. So now it should seal well, so we'll get this installed. So to remove the sensor, now to install the sensor, I did not remove any parts. I did not remove the fan. Might be easier if you have bulky hands and hard to reach, but it was quite easy for me to get this out. One thing to note is, if you can see that hole, there is a place where this groove will go in, so it's pointing to the front. So we'll make sure when we get this installed, this sticking part out is going to the front. So the sensor and the wiring is in place. When you push the sensor in, you need to hear the click. So there is no more coolant coming out of the radiator anymore, so we will close the plug and fill it with the fresh coolant. Okay, for coolant, I always use concentrate and mix it with the distilled water 60-40%. Usually you would go 50-50. We are in Canada, where the temperature sometimes gets just slightly below 40, so we want it to be slightly stronger. I would not recommend to go about 70-30, because then your coolant becomes too corrosive for your system. So having it 60-40, we should be good till -40, and it's still not harmful for the system. So to fill the coolant, we obviously use the fill plug. There is the float. I don't know if you guys seen it. Anyway, there is float inside. We'll show you the level. So we'll use the funnel with the big hole inside, so when the flow goes up we can see it. So I have put 1 liter of fresh coolant, and you can see that float over here. So now we need to get rid of the air. Oh, just over there is a bleed screw, so let's get that removed. So here's your bleed screw. It will let the air out as soon as you get it loose. You don't need to get it all the way out, though, to avoid any resistance. We got the screw out, and you can see our level dropped. So we'll keep filling until we see the coolant coming out of that bleed screw hole. So 2 liters went in, and we still cannot see anything on the bleeder hole. So we'll keep filling. At that time, while we do that, I would strongly recommend to put the charger on the battery to get it charged, because there is such thing as electronic bleed procedure. So I'm not too confident in that. I haven't done it much, haven't tested it, but I saw another fellow on YouTube posted it, so we will perform that, and it goes for 12 minutes without engine running, ignition on, so you will need that battery to be charged. In the meantime, we will add more coolant. So 3 liters in, and we got the fluid in that bleed hole, so we'll put the bleeding screw back in. As you can see, our level is full, so we will put the screw in, and we will run that electronic bleed procedure, and we will see if our level drops. Alright, so to do the electronic bleed procedure, if your vehicle is equipped with the electric pump, you would put the key, turn the ignition on, then you would put your heater all the way to the hottest, fan on 1, then you press your gas pedal and hold it for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you let it go, and this should initiate your electronic bleed procedure that should run for 12 minutes. So it's 2:39 on the clock, so around 2:52 we will turn off the ignition and we will check the coolant level. So when we get under the hood, I don't know if you can hear this buzz, but I believe that's what it's doing. It's bleeding your air out of the system. Alright, so we are at time. We will turn off the ignition and we'll check the coolant level. So as you can see, the coolant level is still high, so not much air got out, though this vehicle was ran before I got to the shop, so after I turn on the pump, this supply hose got hot, so it means that actually pump was working and pumping the coolant. So now what we'll do, we will install the coolant cap back, and we will start the engine. We will run it to the 90-degree normal operating temperature. Make sure that it's not going any higher. The thermostat opens, and if everything is fine, we will call it done. Thanks for watching, and do it yourself.